So I went to therapy school where I got my master's because I was very displeased with my parenting, how I was parented. I really felt like I missed a lot, and I really wanted to repair that by being a good mom to my kids. You know, I really wanted to have children, and I really wanted to mother them in the best possible way. So I go to therapy school, and also I mean, obviously I was hoping to have a career, and I was very interested in consciousness and all of that stuff. But I I really wanted to be a good mom, and so I would definitely call myself a parenting expert at this point. In school, I focused on that. Develop. How does a brain develop? How does character develop? How do we train our children? How do we work with them to develop deep emotional systems and connections? And then when I had kids, it was an ongoing process. It was huge, right? It was a huge commitment. Anytime there was some kind of issue I was having with them, I read up because I'm a scholar kind of person. I read books after books. You know, anytime I encountered any kind of issue where I felt like I didn't know how to handle it or I didn't know what was happening, but it was not good and it had to change. I would read all the childhood experts, like, how do we fix this? What's going on? What's the best possible method? So it was like an ongoing study, right? How do I parent my kids? And how do I learn from every difficult challenge that they're facing? How do I teach them to respond to challenge? How do I teach them how to do that? And that's what it takes, especially in today's, and especially in the world where I I saw this parenting video where this lovely young mother was having the courage to put her parenting on display for the world to show them what good parenting is. God bless her. So she showed a timeout with her little baby, her little kid, like I think it was 2, and she showed us what a timeout was. And like, I mean, honestly, like, so as a parenting expert, I have a few quibbles with like some of her language, but overall, who cares? She was doing a great job, and she was doing exactly what she should be doing. And the response comments, I mean, she was exerting her authority as a mother to help this child learn how to calm down. And she was doing exactly what she should be doing. And the comment section was so critical of her, repulsed by this example of good mothering, by a woman exerting her authority on children. They called the kids little men. They called this little boy, it's 2, a little man. Like, oh, what are you doing to this little man? No, that's like such a fallacy. We don't have fully grown up minds, and only when they're fully parented until they're 25, right? So a 2-year-old is not a little man by a long way. Every developmental stage has different developmental needs that the mother, primarily the mother, needs to learn how to meet to help her child grow into this adult who can comprehend things, who has a complex emotional network, who can relate well to people, who can look at himself, who can be introspective, who can, and this is actually key, right? If you grow a human being right, like with extra wonderful parenting, and we call it good enough. I don't want to scare any moms off. Good enough parenting. But then when the adult is fully grown, they can do it to themselves. Our minds are incredibly plastic and flexible if they're grown right. So, like, you can be 25 and 30, one kind of person, and if you are grown right, you can be 50 and just a totally different kind of person because you know how to grow. Because you know how to reflect and change and transform, because you learn that from your mother, who taught you in those growing years, taught your mind how to do that. That's how.